today's topic is about love. I thought of keeping the topic just love, but I felt it should be untold love story. Okay, so the verse I picked for today is His great love with which He loved us. We always know and we always talk about the great love is like He came here, He sacrificed Himself, and He rose again on the third day. But the essence behind why He did that and how He did that, that is the greatest love story. That's what I feel. And the entire topic today, which I'm going to talk about, is what actually God spoke to me and He showed me. We always talk about scriptures, what we understand from someone, right? Because someone would have said something, for example, like, they always say, three wise men went to see Jesus. It has always been like, okay, three wise men, but Bible says few wise men. There's no three wise men. So it's embedded into our thoughts about what we think the scripture is based on someone said. So today I'm going to talk about the untold love story. So before getting into that, we, as usual, we'll get into the points to ponder. The three questions that I already sent for today is, if you can ask one question to Adam, what will it be? Second, what is the best love story? Apart from, don't bring the concept of God. Yeah, of course, that's the best love story. But apart from that, the best love story that you have seen from the Bible. Right? And the third one, what is the best, if you want to skip this, that's totally okay, it's late. But if you want to say, what is the best thing you have done to represent your love for someone? If you want to skip, that's totally okay. The first thing we will talk about the desires of the flesh. The question is, can someone walking in the Spirit fulfill the desires of the flesh? But the scripture says in Galatians 5:16, if you live in the Spirit, you will never fulfill the desires of the flesh. Just think about Adam, right? Adam was created by God Himself. He is called the Son of God. And he was filled with the Spirit of God. That's how he became a living being, right? And the Lord formed man, Genesis 2:7, out of the dust of the ground, and He breathed into his nostril, and he became a living being, right? So he living in the Spirit of God. Can he sin? Or can he do the desires of his flesh according to his flesh, right? Every good and perfect gift comes from the Lord. So if he is walking in the Spirit of God, if Adam is the Son of God, right? And if Adam was perfectly created, and Adam was created, and if he lived in the Spirit of God, and if he is in the image of God, all these four questions, can he still walk or fulfill the desires of his flesh? Because what we always think is, most of the thought process, like we have heard in this world, is they wanted to be like God, because the question from Satan was like, you'll be like God. So they also wanted to be like God. So that is the desire of the flesh, right? That is what Lucifer said, or like he wanted to be in the place of Christ, or he wanted to be in the place of Son of Man, right? That's why he fell. That is the desire of the flesh. If Adam had that, he has not done a bigger difference or bigger mistake than Lucifer himself, right? So I am sure that he has not done that, but Bible also says if he is walking according to the Spirit, you cannot fulfill the desires of the flesh, right? Now, what about Eve? Right? If not for Adam, we always say like Eve ate the fruit, and it was not Adam who was deceived. Right? Even the verse is there, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived fell into transgression. But how was she actually deceived? One thing about Eve is, did she intentionally eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil? We know she ate, but did she intentionally do it?
No.
Okay, so then what actually happened, right? So again, if Adam was perfect, Eve is also perfect, because Eve is also formed. Satya, a second, stop. Adam is perfect, Eve is also perfect. Then she can also not walk according to the desires of the flesh. If both Adam and Eve, they have not walked in the desires of the flesh, then what actually happened? Right? That's what we need to know. So we are going to think or talk about what was Adam and what was Eve. Right? 1 Corinthians 13:7, when we see what exactly it is, God is love, and Adam and Eve are created in the image of God. When we see in the New Testament scriptures, if you love, joy, and hope, love, hope, joy, and thing. Out of all three, love. Because if you don't have this, you have nothing, right? So if we keep the image of God as because God said like I am love, right? If it is love, love is kind, love hopes, right? Love endures, love bears all things, love rejoices, and love believes everything without a doubt. That's what love is, right? So they were created in the image of God. They are the children of God, and in that image, they are also in the image of love. They believe, they hope, they rejoice, they endure, they bear all things. So, if this is love, the height of innocence, what exactly is the height of innocence? That's what we are going to look at, right? When I was thinking about how would have been the relationship between father and Adam, right? When Adam was created, when Eve was not yet created, right? The relationship between Adam is, God would have said, okay, the day you eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you shall surely die. And after he said that, all that God would have talked with Adam is, you are in my image. You are loved. I love you very much. These are the words that Adam always hears, right? And you are my son. You have dominion over everything I created. And you will not be alone. I'm always with you. And you can create. When I thought about you can create, right? The only thing Adam had is to cultivate, to till the ground, so that the fruit grows out of the ground. It is the work of his hands, so that he can enjoy the work of his hands. God wanted him to create as well, because so that when God created the universe, everything, he said it is good. He knows the joy of creating things, right? That's why he wanted man also to be creative, right? And whatever you name, it shall be. He only named everything that God created. These are the only words that, or when I say these are the kind of words that Adam heard from the Father, and he exactly believed what the Father said about him. Now this is what whatever our children looks at us doing, they do the same to others. Now, when he was created, what did Adam do? Whatever he heard, first he told about, you shall not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The day you shall eat, you shall surely die. He would have said that. And next he said, you are my flesh and you are my bone. And he would have said, you are loved, I love you very much. And he would have said, you are my wife. You have dominion over everything that God has given us. You will not be alone, I am with you. And you can bring life. And the last one is, you shall name everything, because they both together named everything. These are the things he heard from the Father, and these are the things he also spoke about. And whatever Eve heard from Adam and from the Father, see, at least Adam had one person to hear from, but Eve, Adam would have treated her like a queen, because she's the only person, and the Father would have treated her like a little princess, right? The only thing that she enjoyed in the entire living is she always heard about, you're beautiful, You are good. You are amazing. And you know what? The work was given only for Adam, not for Eve. So when Eve would have been like just walking around, taking rest, Adam would have been working, but Adam loved it because tilling the ground was given to Adam. He had a work to do, and Eve was treated like a queen, like a princess. That's how God ordained Eve to be. That's how Eve was given to Adam. When all that she heard is about, you're amazing, you're good. But at that point in time, she believes everything because she's in the image of God. Now, that was the point when serpent came and said, you shall not die. She believed in it. All that she knows is she's in the image of love. Love believes everything. You shall not die. She says, yes, I will not die. And he also said, you will be like God. She said, okay, I will be like God. Because you are in the image of God. Satan knows how to deceive, how to put a lie in the midst of the truth. She believed in the serpent as well. She could not differentiate because all the animals at that time were speaking. Right? And we just read from the Bible saying that serpent spoke, but every single animal was created speaking. Right? She believed in every single word that came to her. And she believed the serpent. And the only thing that she did was because she cannot doubt. She don't know what is doubting. She believes. This is the height of innocence. Eve believed everything everyone said because she was in the image of God. If she had worked in knowledge, she would have doubted. The only problem is when you're created in the image of God, you don't doubt people. You don't work in the knowledge, you work only in the spirit. So this is the height of innocence. So Adam's first thought, right, when he knows that Eve ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the first thought of Adam is, Eve is going to die and I'm going to live without Eve forever. Now, if Eve is going to die and I'm going to live without her forever, the second thought that would have come from him is, I don't want to live without Eve. So for example, I was just thinking, if I was in Adam's situation and if Satya was there, right? Okay, I will live forever if my wife is going to die. God will create another woman and she will die. And she will die because I'm going to live forever, but I'm not going to live with one person. That doesn't satisfy. I want one person to live with forever. Right? I want to share that love. I don't want to distribute it. Right? I want to share that love. So I was thinking, like, if I was there, I would say, I don't want to live. It's better for me to die with her. But I know I live with the Father enough that my Father is a Lord of creation. Even if I die, He is able to bring me back. That is the kind of thought Adam had. Even if I die, I'm fine. But He is able to bring me back. Now, that is how you can, operate. The way you can say, okay, my Father can bring me back and I want to die for Eve, you can never say this unless you operate in love. If you operate in knowledge, you cannot say this. And then the next thing, just because he is in love and he has the second thought, the final thought that will come is, I will also die with Eve. And he ate the fruit knowing that he is going to die. This is exactly what you said. He knows that he is going to die with Eve. And also he knows that his God, his Father, the Lord of creation, he can bring them back.
So like Shakespeare.
Adam, he ate knowing that he is going to die because he doesn't want to live without Eve. She also gave her, that's why she gave it to her husband, he ate. No questions asked. He did not even ask a question. Knowing that he is going to die, he was ready and he decided to die with Eve. So, this is how he died or he gave his life knowing that my wife is going to die, I don't want to live. But if you think about all this situation, right? The untold love story, what Adam did is what Jesus did. When the exact way Adam loved Eve and gave his life without a question. Jesus, with no questions asked, when we died, when Adam and Eve died, that is representing all of us, he gave himself. No questions asked. He died himself.
Okay, Michael,
That is, yeah.
where did you get the
This is what Adam did to Eve, loving her knowingly. He entered into death, but also believed in the Father that he is able to bring him back from the death. Exactly what Jesus did. He knows the Father that is going to bring him out of death, but without even a single question, he came to this earth, died for us, and he rose again. That's the type of love Jesus had on us. And now, summary. Today it's a very short message. Summary, right? Adam, the entire thing about knowledge of good and evil, Adam eating about knowledge of good and evil, it's not about disobedience. It's not about, it's a transgression, but it's not that they have willingly done it. It's a love story. Eve did it out of ignorance or innocence. Adam, knowing that he is going to die, he died with her, and knowing his father has all control, he knows about the Father, and he was ready to die for her. This again you can replicate in Jesus' life. Jesus, he was not just man on earth when he came and he died and he rose again. When he chose to die for us, only man. That's why he's called high priest forever. He is a man forever. Right? So that is the kind of thing he gave up. Being God himself, does not consider himself to be equal with the Father, came to this earth as a slave, gave everything, and he chose to be man forever. And he chose to die, and that's why he's called us brethren, and he was the first brethren to rise among the to rise from the dead among the brethren. Right? That is the love that Jesus loved us. It's the same love that Adam had on Eve when he was ready to die. Jesus was ready to die because he loved us. But one thing further is, he not only died for us, he died with us. So that we can rise with him. So, the takeaway is, when we have the right lens or the right eyes to see the scriptures, we can see the pure love of the Father. Even though we think that is like, it's a curse, that Father is cursed. Father is an angry Father. That is not true. Right? When we have the right lens to see the scripture from the eyes of the Father, every single verse in the scripture is out of Father's love. And when we understand the Father's love, when we put that kind of love in our life turns magical. Trust me, it's magical. And this decision, everything, if you see what Adam did, it's a conscious decision. He loved, and his love was conscious, not emotional. Before I go to the Kuti story, right? There's another part I did not put in the slide, right? We might ask, after he ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, when God came into the Garden of Eden and he asked Adam, where are you? Immediately he said, when he said, I was naked, so I hid myself, and God's like, did you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil? He said, oh, the woman whom you gave, she gave me. Now you might say, that is not love, that does not represent love, how can you blame women? But that is why we say, when we operate out in the spirit, love overtakes. The moment he ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, he started operating in flesh. Flesh is what? The first thing Adam did when he ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil is,
Hit himself.
change?
his eyes was open, he saw him
Naked.
He saw himself. Then only he realized that he's naked. Right? The point is, see, one beautiful story, I wrote this in my book. God designed mankind in a way. He kept the eyes here. You know why? You can never, without a mirror or without water, without a reflecting image, you can never see how beautiful you are.
Wow.
You can always see the beauty of others. No,
Emotional.
that's how God created. We were never created to see ourselves. We were always created to see the beauty in others. That's how God created us. And whenever I start seeing myself, that the whole intention of God creating you that beautiful is gone. Right? That is exactly he did after eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The first thing he saw himself. If you read the Bible, that's the very first thing he did. He saw himself naked. So the moment you see yourself, that's out of love. You're not operating in flesh. You're not operating in spirit. You're operating in the flesh. That is not love. That is flesh. But keeping others. If I put my wife first, if I put my children first, if I put my family first, if I see and adore the beauty of others, that is love. Love does not deceive. Love bears. That's why you can see that verse coming together, right? It endures, it bears, it is kind. It can happen only when you put others first. When you see yourself, that is never possible. Okay? The Kuti story which I want to share today is the relationship which I had between me and my sister. So, my elder sister and myself, we were like almost rivals since my childhood. Okay? We were not very close, and she's the first eldest daughter in my family, and I'm the youngest. There's always a tug of war and a fight between the eldest and youngest because of power controls. The youngest is always given an advantage, but the eldest does not like it, right? And because of that, there were a lot of struggles I went with my sister. It went it went to the extent that we were not able to really operate in love, or we were not able to. And added to that, we did not have very good relationship because she went to Bangalore, and she was at the very young age she went out of the family. She lived alone, and then for marriage she came here to the family. She got married and she came to US. So I never had a chance to live with her. And when my marriage came in, I did not put her first, because there were so many confusions happening. There was a time I should have waited for my sister to come. In our traditions, we wait, right?
Yeah.
I did not do that with logical reasoning, right? Saying, okay, it's not going to happen. That's okay. I'm going to get married. So what? That's how I thought. That broke our relationship further. So she always told others that I was not born with anyone. That's how she started saying. I can understand now. At that point, I was furious. How can you say okay? But that is the extent of relationship that we went through. But 10 years back, God spoke to me, right? If you cannot see your brother or sister whom you see, if you cannot love them whom you see, how can you say that you love me whom you have not seen? That struck me. Then I wanted to work on that. I made a conscious decision to fix the relationship between me and my sister. The moment I picked up and called her, she's like, "What do you need?" I was talking with her, and she said, "Okay, fine, get home." I struggled, but I also was in the process of changing because I could not take that. My ego hit me bad at the time. Then, after 12 years, it's a long time. I know God even worked in my sister and He worked in me. Now I have a beautiful relationship with my sister.
Wow.
Yeah. To the point where in which she had some difficult time. She wanted to talk with me. She said can you travel to this place? I will travel. We both went to San Antonio. We spent some good quality time talking to each other. One full day, and I came back. That is the extent of which God worked in us, and I really thank God for that. If you put love first, if you put others first, your life turns magical. That's it.